Right, with many who are still thought to be on the roads and returning to Johannesburg following the Easter weekend, we're now joined by Johannesburg Emergency Services spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi to talk about readiness for any eventuality. Should they be needed as emergency service personnel? Robert, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Heavy traffic is set to continue as people head home after the Easter weekend. What are some of the observations you've taken note of this evening?
Good evening to the viewers. Yes, from our side as the city of Johannesburg, we are, emergency management services, we are ready for any emergencies which might occur now as people might be coming back to the city in terms of any incidents which might occur. Our teams are on high alert. Even though in terms of major incidents which will happen over the weekend, we don't really have one maybe major incident except the one which we attended to now an hour ago where there was a fire incident which was reported in Troville where about 20 people were affected in one of the backyard rooms which were built in that household. But so far, we don't have any injuries which have been reported on that incident. So in terms of us attending to incidents, we are on high alert to ensure that we can be able to respond to all the emergencies which might occur.
As you talk about the Troville incident, you say no injuries have been reported and you attended to this. What do you believe is behind that incident as you attended to it?
Yeah, at this stage, our preliminary investigation shows that it might be some electrical fault in the house, which might have caused that fire incident. So hence, at this stage, we are actually much more happy that we could have had a lot of injuries there because there was a lot of people who were residing in that area, but so far we only have two who sustained minor injuries, and the others were left displaced. So we have activated our disaster management center officials to attend to the affected residents with some relief. Of course, you will know that in Johannesburg during the Easter season, we normally have a lot of incidents of residents or congregants, especially the faith-based organizations, who normally practice baptisms and cleansing rituals, who normally flock into our river streams. But and in the process, you find that residents swept away while they're conducting baptism rituals. So in this case, we didn't have any major incidents which were reported.
And of course, as we talk about some of the incidents on the road, we know that road users were urged to be mindful of peak traffic conditions. And of course, all of that places additional pressures on both drivers and emergency resources. As you take stock of the Easter period, what pressures would you say you were up against?
They come again?
What pressures, as emergency personnel, do you think you were up against during this Easter weekend?
Oh, yeah, mostly it was motorists moving from one area to the other. So it should be motor vehicle accidents. Those were most of the incidences which we attended to, and of course a number of fire incidents also which we attended to. But this time around we're happy that we didn't have much incidents which were reported in our most vulnerable communities, our informal settlements, because in most of the cases you find that we are mostly responding to fire incidents in our informal settlements caused by heating devices like candles, paraffin stoves, and so on. So we are happy that we didn't have much incidents which were reported.
Robert, just going back to what you were touching on, having to keep a close eye on congregants or churchgoers heading to the rivers for Baptists and all sorts of religious events. As you rate and take a look at, some of the concerns you had at the start of the Easter long weekend, also considering the weather, how would you rate the impact of your awareness and also how people have reacted, how churchgoers, congregants have reacted to some of the warnings?
Yeah, we are actually very much happy. As a City of Johannesburg Emergency Management Services, we're happy. You know why? The reason is that we have done a lot of work in terms of being proactive. Because as a fire service in the City of Johannesburg, we believe that prevention is the future. So what we have done is that we have went out there to meet traditional healers, bishops, pastors, and all those people who are the stakeholders who normally practice this kind of ritual. So we, in areas like Alexander, so where we had I would say training sessions, trying to understand how can we be able to assist them in order to prevent such incidents. So, and then from there we went out to local community, radio stations, communicating with our residents, pleading with them to ensure safety of the congregants when they're conducting this kind of ritual. So we very much happy that at least our message, our residents were able to listen to our messages to say that this time around we don't want any incidents which are related to any, baptisms or cleansing rituals. So we believe that maybe this is the route which we must take as the fire service to ensure that we are actually using the very same stakeholders or people who are much more, who are conducting the rituals to spread the message of safety out there to our communities.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Johannesburg Emergency Services spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi talking preparedness and, of course, just taking stock of some of the incidents that have taken place throughout the Easter long weekend.